Well, it's the first time I've ever done it. Standing up at the podium, smarter with the NFL players. So like when they after they leave their games and talk to media, but I'm doing a lot better. It's just been a lot of questions that I've had for what would be the best case scenario for me to go out there and play and what I can possibly play through with the shoulder injury. It's very unique because it's the first time I've ever had such a significant feeling in my shoulder where I'm going up to shoot jump shots and I can't really lift my shoulder to get up in that jump shot position, and it's impinging. There was some bursitis in there that was really impacting me going out there and playing my game at a very high level. And it actually started back after we played the Pelicans. After that game, before the road trip, I felt decent. I've been shooting every single day. I've been making sure that I was lifting, making sure I was taking care of my body, and it got to the point where I had overused it. And you come into the season, you get hit in your face. I get hit in my face, and then lack of preseason time. I'm trying to make up some time in training camp still throughout that time to get ready for the first game of the season. I shot every day after late at night, after games sometimes, after practice, and got to that Pelicans game. I had one wrong kind of contest on the shot. I think somebody came and blocked it, and then after that game, I had our PTs look at it, they dug on it, then I started wearing tape on the road trip, and that Denver game was the last game I played, and after that, it just progressively got worse. So I'm in a better place now that it's been some significant time. I tried to go without any anti-inflammatories, which is why it took so long. And now I'm at a place where the next step in any progression was to either get a cortisone shot or get surgery. So that was the ultimatum I was fixed with. So now I'm just doing the best I can to live off of this cortisone and move forward if I need surgery in the future.
What was it like emotionally, with the expectation of speculation about the timeline, how soon you can be back? I'm sure in your mind you felt like you hope to be back sooner. What was it like having to sit out and see the time extended and having to be patient through that process?
Well, you have so many goals in the beginning of the season that you would like to accomplish with the team individually. You want to sustain a certain level of play. Obviously our team record in the beginning of the season wasn't reflecting of where we're probably going to be heading in the future, but it was a start. It gave me a chance to get to know my teammates, get to know the coaching staff. Really just throw myself into that environment. It was definitely difficult to find out that I had what was going on with my shoulder. The timing of it, what we needed. We go on the road trip. I think we go 2 and 3. So that was weighing in on my mind, and I tried to play through it on the road trip, and then probably playing during that time made it worse. And it just sucks, man. It really is disheartening when you're working your tail off to and shoulder just starts to give out on you a little bit. You're looking at it like, hey, it's just a shoulder. Let me ice this thing. Let me just get back out there. And you keep feeling something in your shoulder. You're trying to explain it to the medical staff. You're trying to explain it to all these experts out there. I'm going to see shoulder specialists. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, trying to see a shoulder specialist. I'm seeing a shoulder specialist for a week and 2 weeks. I'm doing all these exercises. Still nothing is happening to get me back on the court, so it's definitely frustrating. But like I said, I'm in a better place now. Just going to keep progressing and see where we end up in the next few weeks.
Kyrie, what, have you been able to glean from the way the team has been able to perform in the stretch that you've been out? And how do you see yourself coming back whenever it is that you do come back? How do you see yourself kind of carrying them forward after this?
Well, I think that the most important thing for us is just the big picture. We obviously, when I say we, myself, KD, and DJ, Garrett, Wilson, us veterans, we obviously signed here for a reason, and that's for the big picture, which is NBA championship. And the level of play that we have right now and our team, is it fitted for the future? I think that's yet to be answered, but I think we want to figure that out and how do we get to that level and build the championship culture here, and that doesn't just happen in just 1 year, just because you get certain players. Things have to go right, and right now things are not going particularly right for our health and well-being because I'm injured. Kay's obviously injured. guys are playing through injury, but our team is still sustaining a fairly good level of play. We've been able to put together some good wins. Guys are getting better. Young guys are getting opportunities. Unfortunate what happened to David Nwaba as well. But he was doing his best, man. Filling in roles that, if me and Kay are out there, they're probably not particularly playing those roles, but they're doing the best. And we got to support them, and it's part of my job as one of the leaders on the team to continue to do so. So I'm nothing but proud of the guys for holding the fort down. And I kept telling them, when I was injured, just keep this boat afloat as long as we can. And, when I'm back, then we make a push for the playoffs and we go from there. But we got to be realistic with what's going on here. Guys aren't healthy. Me and Kay obviously came here to play together and lead these guys to a championship run for the next few years. And right now, we're just not in a position to do so, but we're going to do the best we can for the rest of the season.
Kyrie, you said you're doing better. When you're talking about that, do you mean mentally you're in a better place with this, or do you mean physically you feel like you're progressing? And then secondly, I was just curious if you viewed this as sort of a learning process, because in talking to Kenny, it seems like he really didn't understand this a whole lot when it first started, and it's sort of progressively been learning more about this so he can help you treat it.
Well, Kenny's in a unique position because he has to listen to the medical staff and upper management, so he's doing the best he can to, answer the questions that you guys are asking about what's going on with my injury. I was obviously going to tell you as much as he can, but I'm going to be as candid as possible. It's fairly difficult to be injured in the beginning of the season, in the middle of the season, at the end of the season, during the playoffs. It's always going to be a mental strain. This is something that I've spent, majority of my life working to do at a very high level, and I want to do it at the best level I can, which is greatness. And when you're injured, and especially when your team needs you, of course you go home and you're like, why am I not playing yet? When is this gonna turn? Where's the corner? When I'm gonna turn and be better enough, be well enough health-wise to go out there and play at a high level. So it's just, you go home and you ice your shoulder as much as you possibly can. You try not to reflect on the past too much of all the other injuries you've been through and what you've battled through, and just attack the rehab as best you can. That's really as simple as I could break it down.
I just want to make sure I wind it back for the sake of accuracy, Kyrie. So you eventually, you go to see at least one specialist, I guess, in Phoenix, and eventually you break down and you get the cortisone shot. Is that, you get the shot eventually because you're saying, I'm trying to stave off surgery, and you have to wait, I guess, to see whether the surgery is going to be necessary? Is that just how your body responds to the shot, how it recovers?
Yeah. I think you have a fair understanding or grip on what goes on between, the day-to-day of having an injury, such as, bursitis in your shoulder. The next progression was get a cortisone shot, or you get arthroscopic surgery. So cortisone shot lasts as long as it can. You either continue to get cortisone shots, which is obviously detrimental to your health and your muscles, or you go get arthroscopic surgery. So, for me, it's just about being able to go back out there after the right amount of rehab, the amount of rest, recovery, and see what we can do for the rest of the season, and then reevaluate after a few months.
Kyrie, you had taken a lot of criticism, especially around the Boston game. You were faking it, quote unquote. You were deserved to be booed. You didn't have the guts to play there. What did you kind of make of all that criticism? How do you respond to it?
Well, I think the big picture, and when I started playing basketball, you realize that a lot of variables come into play with all of this. I do it because I love it, but at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And fans love to be entertained, and I think that I myself, kind of fell into that cycle of being emotionally attached to something like that, especially when I'm watching the game at home with my family, much to the fact that it wasn't about the players on the floor during that day. And it became about me and where I was and what I was doing. And, for basketball to become more about just one individual player, and it's a team sport, just to justify market value or bringing more fans to the games or justifying why all that stuff happens, hey, so be it. That's entertainment. So I got nothing but love for Boston, nothing but love for the journey that I had with all those guys. I appreciate everyone standing up for me and speaking on my behalf. of telling, you know, it's not my fault, it's not all on him. Like, I'm a man, I'm able to take criticism. You know, I haven't taken it well in the past, but at this point in my career, it's just the big picture is, hey, I need to focus on winning the championship here and how I make this organization better, and we move forward from that point. I can't control what anyone says about me when I'm not talking, or when I am talking, or when I'm in an arena and when I'm not. You know, people are going to say regardless, whatever they feel. So I respect that, but at the end of the day, it's entertainment, man. It's changing.
Right.
Like you said, this probably is not this year, and Kevin's not going to play or may not play. Was there a part of you surgery? And I have then plenty of time to rest, and then we can really make a run at this next year when we're all back.
Yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't tell you that. But I thought that the next step in the progression was get the cortisone, see how it responds, and then move on from that point. You know, we'll see in 2 months or so, see if it still lasts, or a month, or in the next 2 weeks, I don't know. But I'm gonna continue on the process that I am of rehabbing and trying to get back out there with the guys. But it's definitely crossed my mind just getting the surgery. Probably put me out for 3 to 4 months, or 2, 3, whatever, you know, doctors say. You know, they're gonna dissect what I say anyway. So, you know, I just thought about the present moment and what we have, and the overall goal is to remain healthy, continue to get better with these guys, and then we move forward after this season once we achieve the goals that we have in place.
Did they tell you how many times you could get a shot? I don't even know.
I know getting it more than once or twice, you're putting yourself at risk. But, you know, like I said, I'm gonna make the best decision for my health, and just, I wanna go out and play. So just continue to rehab and live with the results of me going out there, giving it the actual shot, going out there, being with the guys, see where we can land, and then move forward after the season.
Last one.
What was the cortisone shot?
I think it was on the 24th of December, the day before Christmas.
And with rehab, I know besides they recommend just like you can't, you know, being overworked, you want to rest as much. So with that, what is rehab like for you?
Oh man, I know you guys have done different interviews on different athletes, especially when they're trying to get back onto their respective fields of, you know, sports. So it's just a long process, man. You know, you get all those questions instead of how you doing, it's how you feeling. You know, how's your shoulder? Everywhere I go, it's how's your shoulder when you're coming back, and when you don't have a fair answer, you know, you take it a little personal that, hey, I don't know when this is gonna be where it's at. But, you know, after getting the cortisone shot, it put me in a better position. I feel better. My body feels better. So just gonna continue to work at that and see, like I said, see where I land.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.